Okay, it's all dynamic. It depends on what you can handle. I'm just explaining the observations and the reason why I believe that this is how most people in the world operate. This is my first video where I'm providing advice, and I said you guys can send me questions through the link. I'll put it in the description for this video. But the first scenario that someone sent through was, I am a Christian and I am in love with a woman who has different religious beliefs to me. Do you think a marriage can last? Or how can we make this work? She doesn't reject God, but she is more spiritual. What advice would you give for me? Cool. I've heard many people talk on this. I'm not married. I've spoken to a whole lot of people that are married. Some who are of different religious beliefs, some who are of the same. Obviously, Christian backgrounds that I grew up in before becoming who I am today, I used to hear this thing about unequally yoked, so you shouldn't be with anyone of a different religion. I'm also aware that a lot of Muslims share that belief. However, I'm going to share the facts, and I'm also going to share my personal advice for you. So, as you can see, we have a man and a woman. I'm trying to get better at these drawings, guys, but I want to explain a very important principle. Okay, now I call this the love pyramid, the love triangle. I'm going to draw it over here. But essentially, it's a pyramid of what the actual most important things are in a relationship, okay? At the top, we have love. After love, now people will disagree with me, but after love, we actually have money. After money, we then have religion. And I'm going to explain this. Then after religion, you tend to have like other members of family. And then I'm going to put work there, as in like people's jobs. People may disagree with this, but I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to explain why it's in this order. A marriage or relationship will not last if you don't love each other. However, where the love begins to dwindle, if there is enough money within the relationship, the two parties tend to stay together anyway. The reason why money is so high is because I found that with a lot of couples and people that I talk to, the majority of problems caused in their relationships have to do with money. So I guess you could say the bottom three are more debatable and fluid, but these top two always stay the same. Some people put money above love, but the reason why I put love above money is because a relationship can be without money, or both people can be poor or terrible financially. If they love each other, they will still stay together. I have not forgotten the question, but there's a reason why I'm explaining this, okay? People will often say, or they'll often make out that, you know, two people have to be of the same religion. My honest response is it's about the two of you, because remember, if love is at the top, two people can be of different religious backgrounds, but if they love each other, then it will work. And if he believes that she'll be a great mother, and if she believes that he'll be a great father, regardless of their religious beliefs, and they both have the maturity to see beyond the barriers of the religion that they've been raised up in, or some would say indoctrinated into, or they've been initiated into, then this can work. However, if either you or her have a very firm view or belief, and are not willing to not necessarily compromise, but at least try to understand the other person, then this will not work. The majority of relationships, right, for most people, the majority of people aren't rich, or a lot of people have fragmented families. So the only things that are really left to make their marriage work is religion, love, and then their day-to-day jobs. So what we see, or what happens often, is a lot of people, they get into marriages or they get into relationships, and then they use work as a distraction. And this is what they do when the love isn't there. They'll use work as a distraction, or they'll busy themselves in a religious system as another distraction. Now, once again, guys, I am not a relationship expert. I'm just explaining the observations and the reason why I believe that this is how most people in the world operate. So they will use these two things as a distraction because they can't use anything else if the love is not there. If the love is not there, you have to use the others two as a distraction. Regardless of if the religion is there or not, if the love's there, you're fine. You take up the work, still fine. So what I would say is this, okay? For you, particularly in your situation, you need to look at her beliefs. Now, me personally, I couldn't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't believe in God whatsoever, or the existence of God in terms of be it themselves or a creative force, because some people don't believe in that at all. I couldn't do it. But for me, I have an affinity or a preference for those who are somewhat spiritually aware of their own divinity and importance. I don't know if I've made a video on this, but I'm not looking for someone who will just fully submit. I want someone who recognizes that there's a balance of masculine and feminine energy that is in the Godhead that is also important in a relationship. So that's me, okay? It's all dynamic. It depends on what you can handle. If you're a strong, devout Christian, I would say no, don't compromise, because it will kill you. As in, internally every day you may be unhappy because you'll go into church multiple times a week, and in church you're hearing, no mingled seeds, you can't be with someone, you're living in sin, you're living in sin. If you know that's the environment you're in and that's where you're likely to stay, then I wouldn't recommend getting with someone of a different religion. However, if you're someone who is free from that or isn't in that type of environment, and let's say you're a Buddhist and your beliefs are more just about how you interact with the world and the world interacting with you, and about being loving and kind, you can of course be with someone of a different religion, because within yours there isn't pressure on you to behave in a certain way, but you are made aware of the repercussions of your actions and the intent, the eightfold path, the intention, the right action, the right intention, right? I've been reading the Dhammapada, very interesting, very profound text actually. So literally, to answer your question, two people can absolutely be of a different religion and be in marriages that work, that last. I've seen it. However, depending on the religion, I'm going to be so real now. Hindus, Christians, and Muslims in general don't really mix. It's just something that I've seen. So if you know that, the love is there, but the family will be an issue and the religion will be an issue, I wouldn't recommend doing it personally. If the love and the money is there, you guys can get away with a hell of a lot. Simply because you have a lot of money and you both love each other, you can create whatever life you want, and your family won't be able to get in the way, because most of the family's predispositions have to do with money. For example, you have however much money you want for a wedding. Your family's opinions on how big or small a wedding will be won't matter. Cost, there won't be stress around cost. Work won't matter because you have enough money. They don't care what you do for a living. If you're already a multi-millionaire, they know you can take care of their daughter, or vice versa, however it may run, right? So certain things get eliminated when the money is there. Also, funnily enough, right, there are some families who are also religious, right? But if their daughter, who they love, finds a man who is rich and wealthy, they don't care if he's of the same religion or not, because they see him as an opportunity to live a much better life. I'm just sharing things as they are. This is just how the world works. Do I believe this is the best way for things to operate? No, but it's the way that things, for the most part, works. If you find someone who breaks this, then you're in a really good position. If you're both in love and you both haven't got a lot of money and you're both different religions and your families or whatever and your work, as long as the love is strong enough, remember, this is the most important thing at the top of the pyramid. Like, you can still make it work. So just keep it dynamic. I'm not gonna come and tell you guys, it's right, it's wrong to do this or do that. I would say it's wrong to enter into a marriage with someone who, one, God hasn't told you is your partner, or two, that you don't love. Okay, that's just the basic. If you don't love the person, you shouldn't be in a relationship with them. You're doing more damage than good. Now, having said that, back in the old days, I've been reading about Alexander the Great. Back in those days, marriages were more governmental things because both families would benefit. So if I were to redraw this chart for like how marriage used to be and how relationships used to work, it would be entirely different. But yeah, that's all. I don't want to make these videos too long. For you, brother, you can always DM me privately and give me more information about the specifics of the situation, but as long as you both love each other and you're willing to at least sit down and talk, because this is the thing, you may want to her to go to church, or she may want you to go to church, but she may have been hurt by the church. She may not be done with God, she may be done with the church. I forgot to mention in this particular example that that is the situation. So find a way for you to both engage God in ways that are comfortable for you and that you can both do together, okay? Because it's not that you both hate God, it's that one of you doesn't want to go through a specific system and the other one is prepared to do so. And so that's what it's about. You want to eliminate the arguments, although sometimes they are important, then just bear this in mind. But anyway, yeah, send your questions through. That's me. Peace!